Good morning. Michael here, looking again at Psalms 18, specifically verse 21 through to 25 for the exposition. And verse 21 reads, "For I have kept the ways of the Lord, and have not wickedly departed from my God." Verse 22, "For all his rules were before me, and his statutes I did not put away from me." 23, "I was blameless before him, and I kept myself from my guilt." 24, "So the Lord has rewarded me according to my righteousness, according to the cleanness of my hands in his sight." And 25, "With the merciful you show yourself merciful, with the blameless man you show yourself blameless." And so we look to the treasury of David for the exposition. Verse 21. Here the assertion of purity is repeated, both in a positive and a negative form. There is "I have" and "I have not," both of which must be blended in a truly sanctified life. Constraining and restraining grace must each take its share. The words of this verse refer to the saint as a traveler, carefully keeping to the ways of the Lord, and not wickedly. That is designedly, willfully, persistently, defiantly forsaking the ordained pathways in which God favors the pilgrim with his presence. Observe how it is implied in the expression, "and have not wickedly departed from my God," that David lived habitually in communion with God and knew him to be his own God, whom he might speak of as "my God." God never departs from his people. Let them take heed of departing from him. Verse 22. "For all his judgments were before me." The word, the character, and the actions of God should be evermore before our eyes. We should learn, consider, and reverence them. Men forget what they do not wish to remember, but the excellent attributes of the Most High are objects of the believer's affectionate and delighted admiration. We should keep the image of God so constantly before us that we become in our measures conformed unto it. This inner love to the right must be the mainspring of Christian integrity in our public walk. The fountain must be filled with love to holiness, and then the streams which issue from it will be pure and gracious. I did not put away his statutes from me. To put away the scriptures from the mind's study is a certain way to prevent their influence the outward conversation. Backsliders begin with dusty Bibles and go on to filthy garments. Verse 23. "I was also upright before him." Sincerity is here claimed. Sincerity such as would be accounted genuine before the bar of God. Whatever evil men may think of him, David felt that he had the good opinion of his God. Moreover, freedom from his one great besetting sin, he ventures also to plead, "I kept myself from mine iniquity." It is a very gracious sign when the most violent parts of our nature have been well guarded. If the weakest link in the chain is not broken, the stronger links will be safe enough. David's impetuous temper might have led him to slay Saul when he had him within his power, but grace enabled him to keep his hands clean of the blood of his enemy. But what a wonder it was, and how well worthy of such a grateful record as these verses afford. It will be a sweet cordial to use one of these days to remember our self-denials, and to bless God that we are able to exhibit them. Verse 24. God first gives us holiness, and then rewards us for it. We are his workmanship, vessels made unto honor, and when made, the honor is not withheld from the vessel, though in fact it all belongs to the potter upon whose wheel the vessel was fashioned. The prize is awarded to the flower of the show, but the gardener reared it. The child wins the prize from the schoolmaster, but the real honor of his schooling lies with the master, although instead of receiving, he gives the reward. Verse 25. The dealings of the Lord, in his own case, cause the grateful singer to remember the usual rule of God's moral government. He is just in his dealings with the sons of men, and metes out to each man according to his measure. With the merciful thou wilt show thyself merciful. With an upright man thou wilt show thyself upright. Every man shall have his meat weighed in his own scales, his corn meted in his own bushel, and his land measured with his own rod. No rule can be more fair, to ungodly men more terrible, or to the generous man more honorable. How would men throw away their light weights and break their short yards, if they could not believe that they themselves are sure to be in the end the loser by their connivish tricks? Note that even the merciful need mercy. No amount of generosity to the poor or forgiveness to enemies can set us beyond the need of mercy. Lord, have mercy upon me, a sinner. Yes, indeed. Trust you enjoyed the meditation. Michael here, declaring yet again, Jesus is Lord. Until next time, be blessed.